Welcome back, dear viewers, to this special coverage of the Senate elections 2025, as we're following up and covering live in every governorate the turnout of the voters, and also the process of elections, if it's running smoothly, if there is anything reported, if there are any complaints. Also, the alignment between the National Elections Authority with every head of every committee in every country. So also, let's have a look at Mansoura Governorate, and I'm delighted to be joined by Nermin Rahman, Nile TV's correspondent. A very good evening to you, Nermin, and please update us. What is the situation in Mansoura? How about the turnouts and the electoral process?
Hello, Reem. Yes, right you are. I am in Mansoura, the capital of Dakahlya Governorate, and before we continue covering or following up minute by minute all the events here, let's remind our viewers that in Dakahlya there are 4,674,726 eligible voters, and we do have 22 candidates competing for 13 seats in the coming Senate. Since 9 a.m. in the morning, all the polling centers opened their gates to receive the voters here in Dakahlya without any irregularities or any obstacles on the way. Today, Reem, there was another festival of the voters coming to practice their constitutional right and to vote in the Senate elections Egypt 2025. Also, what was really great to find that the religious top executives were keen to be examples for the citizens with practicing their constitutional right to vote. We have a big delegation from the Ministry of Endowments, including a number of imams or preachers who were keen to go and to cast their ballot. Also, Bishop Axios, the Bishop of Mansoura and its affiliates, was also in another polling center in exactly Omar ibn Abdel school here in Mansoura to cast his ballot and to make sure that everything is going that smooth. He really, whether he or the imams from the Ministry of Endowment, said that the voting process is going that smooth, and in only 2 or 3 minutes they finished the whole issue. Also, Governor of Dakahlya, Major General Tariq Marzouk, was keen to go and to follow up all the events and the whole situation from the central emergency room from Dakahlya Governorate headquarters. Reem?
This is important guidelines and also points, and Nermin, to know that religious figures are there and are keen to cast their ballots, which encourages, of course, many people to do so and cast their ballots and to participate in this democratic event. But also, I would like to know more about the demographics. Nermin, have you talked with any voters between the demographics? What are the main demographics you have witnessed? Were they women, young adults, elderly people? Tell me more about the demographics who participated in this important event.
Right, you are, Reem. I inspected a number of polling centers, not only in Mansoura but in villages around Mansoura, and I found the very same image, the very same scenario. It's a really civilized image sent to the whole world, meaning that it's not only in Mansoura, the capital of the governorate, but no, it's all over Dakahlya, where you can find voters going and practicing their constitutional right. Of course, when it comes to Egyptian women, they are proving a day after the other that their full political awareness is a lesson which should be learned by all peoples around the world. I also forgot to tell you, Reem, that also the president of Mansoura University, Dr. Sharif Khater, was also keen to go and to cast his ballot and to speak to reporters right after that, praising the political awareness of the Egyptian people in general and of Mansoura citizens in specific, and also hailing the participation of women and youth, saying that they were trying their best to be in the forefront, or to be since early in the morning here, whether in the polling center where I am in Ibn Luqman School, or in other poll centers all over the Dakahlya Governorate. Also, Mrs. Hala Abdel, she is the Deputy Solidarity Minister here in Dakahlya, was keen herself to go and to inspect a number of polling centers to make sure that everything is going smooth and regular, particularly for the elderly people and people with determination, with all facilities introduced to them to make the voting process that easy for each societal category. Reem.
About the security and the facilities provided to ensure that the elections process are running smoothly without any obstacles. To what extent was this process secured, and the facilities also provided to, for example, elderly people or people with determination? If you can tell us more about this.
Yes, the security procedures are taking place and are that tight since the very early moment. Since even 2 days before the elections, when the security directorate already shouldered the responsibility of securing the polling centers. And as I told you, whether those responsible for the voting process here, or those who are responsible for this coming from the Ministry of Solidarity, they are exerting their utmost efforts to make it easier for people with special needs and people with, and the elderly people with wheelchairs, with having people even to be with them from the very first moment till they end their voting process. Also, the voting process itself, Reem, does not take more than 2 or 3 minutes, with the help and support whether of the counselor himself, who is here responsible for this, or the employers who were here keen to help everyone to cast his ballot in a very easy and smooth manner. Reem.
Sure. I would like to thank you so much, Nermin Abdel Rahman, Nile TV's correspondent from Mansoura, the capital of Dakahlya. Thank you so much for all of these details and for your efforts, of course. So, dear viewers, it is with pride we're still covering this Senate elections 2025, as we have heard from our correspondents from different governorates that the process is running smoothly. No obstacles reported. Even the complaints received by the National Elections Authority, they dealt with it smoothly and also professionally, as also the many figures, the public figures, whether religious figures or even academic figures, are keen to cast their ballots, which of course encourages many people to still cast their ballots until the gates of every committee closes the electoral process. And of course we respect the electoral silence period. And now we go for a short break and get back to this special coverage, still covering it live for you, Senate elections 2025. Let's have a short break and get back to this special coverage.